Hello, my name is Waylon Lewis, and every week we'll bring you a new podcast with Elephant Journal. Hey friends, I wanted to introduce my friend, my special friend Kelsey. I've written about her like 20 times in the last couple months. Hey Kelsey.
Hi everyone.
So Kelsey, what do we want to talk about?
I think we want to talk about the relationship story.
Yeah, so I've been writing about, I've wanted a family for a long time and wanted to be in love and wanted a lot of things. All of us go through falling in love and broken hearts and loneliness and where were you at? You've been a single mom for some years?
Yeah, so I've been a single mom for 4 years since my son was born, and really didn't date a lot after my last relationship, and was just really busy, frankly, and focusing on raising my son Leo. And
I was raised by a single mom, so
yeah,
it feels like a good connection there, because I saw how hard she worked and how stressful that was and how lovely she was, and she was an amazing mom, and you've been an amazing mom.
Aw, thank you, love.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was just kind of trusting that things would unfold. Like, I always felt like I would meet my person at some point and didn't want to force it in any way. And also, knew that as a single parent, just focusing on that would allow whatever sort of relationship was right to come into fruition, which is true.
You mean by focusing just on what was at present, which is your child?
Yeah, which is something that, continues regardless of, being in a relationship or not. So focusing on what was important to me, whether it's parenthood or anything else, I think that someone's already involved and passionate about.
Right.
But
so it's magnetizing. We write about that on Elephant sometimes. If you are looking for love, instead you focus on loving yourself and creating a life with integrity, and that is magnetizing to someone genuine who connects with that.
yeah.
Instead of just sitting around being like, what the heck, which I've done plenty of too.
Yeah, I've also done plenty of that too.
Yeah.
And I have had my attention very, focused on the day-to-day of parenting. And anyways, Waylon, you created a post a year and a half ago after your dating app ventures.
Well, yeah, so I had been engaged to a wonderful person during the pandemic, and we broke up, and I was super sad and kind of feeling sorry for myself, somewhat understandably, I think. So I almost was the opposite of you. I think I was not just focusing on creating a great life, which I'd done for many years, but I was actually really feeling despondent. And for me, actually, that was helpful in a funny way. I wrote in my first book, I don't think I'll find love until my luck has run out completely. And I felt like I actually let go and gave up completely. And that was, from the Buddhist tradition, being Buddhist, that's a form of opening up completely. You don't realize it at the time. You just feel empty. Mm-hmm. But I really gave up. So I had jumped into dating apps thinking, well, I'm vegan and I like to bike and I'm a big weirdo and I need probably another weirdo to be interested in all that. So dating apps might be great because you can kind of say what you're interested in, and most people will be like, nah, that's not for me. But some people will be like, oh, maybe, yeah, or I'm into that. But dating apps, I don't know if anyone has tried it, are kind of no judgment on them. They're great. I think a lot of people meet, but I think they just don't work. At least they didn't for me in a small town to connect with like-minded people. It just felt like a lot of wasted time and energy. So I gave up on that, and that's when I really was I just have no idea. And I put up this post saying on Instagram, on my stories, just saying, this is kind of who I am, I want children, this is what I'm looking for. And then I made that into a post because the reaction was so big from the story. And then
yeah, and I hadn't followed you, prior to that. I'd read Elephant, big fan, a few times before. I read it every day now. And my best friend...
You wrote on it. now.
Yeah.
She's like a popular writer on Elephant now.
There's more coming your way.
Yeah. You wrote about being a single mom.
Yeah. And venturing, kind of following my own spirit's evolution while looking after and protecting another person's as well, my son's, and kind of the dance of the two of those things, and him watching me in my own sort of independence while being his primary caregiver. But back to your post. So my best friend Jess sent me that post and was like, I feel like...
The post of me saying this is kind of who I am and what I'm looking for.
Yeah. She's like, I feel like he's describing you, like the way that you've described a partner that you'd eventually like to be with. It seems all intertwined here in these words. And we talked a little bit, you had like a massive response.
Yeah, people got really excited by this post because I think it's unusual. So I think part of the point of this video is not just to be happy and introduce Kelsey, which is beautiful, but we want to make other people feel happy and have genuine hope. And I think the lesson I learned is just try to connect directly with your community. So I had reached out, very simply said, this is kind of who I am and what I'm looking for. And yeah, there was a big response because I don't think people are used to like kind of putting yourself out there like that on Instagram. Actually, it's so rare that a dating coach interviewed me because she was all excited. She was like, this is brilliant. More people should do this. Like, reach out to their own community instead of try dating apps. And we should tell her how it's going because she doesn't know, I don't think. And then what? Oh, yeah, so we DM'd, but there was a lot of noise. And it was a nice intro, and we left it off as... Do you want to say?
Yeah, we just kind of DM'd here and there, and
we left it as like,
in.
We'll go on a date when you're in Colorado.
Yeah, because I've been visiting Colorado every summer of my life, and at the time didn't know if I was able to move from where I live now.
Yeah, she lives far away, thousand miles away.
Far away.
Yeah, so it really was like catching a shooting star kind of thing.
Aw, yeah.
And then, like 6 months later, your aunt...
Yeah, 6 months later, my aunt sent me an article of Waylon's. You all had met a couple times through the yoga world. And my best friend and my aunt don't know each other, don't communicate, anything like that. So it was very much a moment where I was like paying attention to these two brilliant women in my life who know me very well in very different sort of ways and phases. And then I reached back out, and I think shortly after that, things had kind of settled for you after the campaign. And
well, that time, when you reached back out, I was like, oh, right, that pretty single mom far, far away. And I kind of checked out your account, or we were DMing or whatever it was, and I was like, oh, you're not just like a random pretty mom 1,000 miles away. You're like, I'm interested in this person. Yeah, like I kind of got to know you a little bit through your posts and you're being you, on social at least. And then we very quickly like DM'd, phone, then went to FaceTime, then I invited you out.
Yeah.
And she went for it.
To the Nutcracker.
So how did you go for it and feel like safe, like traveling 1,000 miles to
that's
meet
a good
someone
question.
you didn't know?
Well, I think that, some other stories that we've heard from couples who have met long distance is like there's that you do want to feel safe and have, like, my aunt lives 20 minutes from here or so, and she offered up her home if I wanted to stay there, and I have some contacts around town. But
when you arrived off the bus from DIA, you were actually in the bushes, your aunt and all kinds
I had my taser.
Yeah, all kinds of powerful women were hiding in the bushes, ready to spring out in case we didn't like each other. And I had also said, to be fair, I think it was hopefully helpful. I was like, worst case scenario, we'll be friends. You have your own room. You can obviously stay with your aunt. I don't think I knew about that option, but I was like, no funny business. Like, this is just if we like each other or not.
Safe.
Yeah, you'll be safe.
Yeah, and that was big to hear.
Yeah. And then, yeah, we liked each other.
Yeah.
So why did you feel safe or like me?
Aw. You feel very grounded and grounding and fun and like, yeah, it just felt like, well, obviously it felt like coming home, and I was aware that it was the first time that we were meeting, you know, so there was that sort of...
Felt like coming home because of me or because of Colorado?
Because of you.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's sweet. It just felt pretty natural and fun and meaningful. And then, yeah, Kelsey has been coming out here for, I don't know, a while.
Yeah.
Now. And, so I wrote an article that was sort of like, I gave up on dating apps and just decided to go for it and be straightforward and kind of a little bit open and, maybe vulnerable. I didn't really feel that vulnerable when I did it, but I think the experience of others was that it was like rare to be open in that way about wanting love and family. And
yeah, it was just very clear communication. No, I think with the dating apps, there can be like some game playing or like all of that, you know.
There's just bots
sort of white noise, and I think the clarity piece was huge, and it's, you know, a lot of what you wrote about are your values and what's important to you, and I think that's a really crucial piece of a foundation for a relationship, you know. It's like we both care about these things, and kind of what can be grown from this fertile soil of this foundation, you know. And I think that's what made it feel so safe. I was like, I know this person knows some of my family members. I know that, you know, you care about the earth.
Yeah.
You're an advocate for women, and all of that mattered, you know, and matters.
Yeah, and it's tough. I mean, from my like hurly-burly world of, I had just lost a city council race and elephant, you know, working so hard and just feeling like a little bit, again, that luck run out thing for me. I was just in a place of like giving up. And I think there's a long tradition in spirituality of spiritual traditions. Just that level of like, you know, sometimes you have to just give up everything you've tried. Like Winston Churchill said about democracy. It was like, democracy is the best form of government after you've tried every other single form of government and given up.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Everything prior is research. To finish the story. So
Oh,
then
okay.
we went to the Nutcracker.
Okay.
And
Back on track.
Yeah, we're not going to leave you on the edge of the cliff here.
So I invited you out to the Nutcracker. We dressed up.
Sorry.
We went to the ballet. And then you had to leave. It was like a 24-hour
we ran to the
visit.
bus and barely made it on. 24-hour visit. We met up with some friends for lunch before.
Right.
Our first date was at Trident.
Right. The classic OG cafe in Boulder.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And now we're in love, and this lady better watch out, because I'm going to, you know, I want to commit to this lady.
I think that was all of it in a nutshell.
Great. Thanks for telling that story with me.
And
meeting everyone.
And Winnie was there too.
Yeah, Winnie is my pup. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Big love from Kelsey and I. Or Kelsey and me.